Hey everyone. Yeah, you can see the title down below. To me, it kind of was a surprise when I read about this, but it seems Ian Flynn has answered some questions after a long while. Questions that I guess some of us have been wanting to know. Now, he answered basically 100, well, not 100, but basically about 90, about 90 questions worth. He's given 90 answers, I think, to 90 questions. And bring it up here. And basically, it's something that fans have been wanting for a while. They've been wanting to get some answers to certain things. And if I could find it here. If I can find it here. Hold on. I think I have another way of doing this. Yeah, hold on. But anyway, Ian answered about 90 to 91 questions. So that was amazing. And some questions he answered because he answered in a way that some fans are happy to hear about. And there were some questions that he answered that when he gave the answer to them, fans were not happy to hear it. So okay, we're going to point out some things. Now, I'm going to provide a link down below to this so you guys can read most of the questions yourself and read off some of the answers yourself. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Hold on. I had to let my dog out for a second. But I gotta let her back in. I don't know what this dog wants. Anyway, and that's never mind. But anyway, like I was saying, one of the questions that one fan asked, in fact, it was the fifth question a fan asked, was, will there be more villains independent of Eggman and his empire? And Ian answered, slowly but surely, we've barely seen hints of half the Egg army and not really had a chance to follow up on Nagas or get into the Deadly Six. Now we do know that the Deadly Six will be showing up in Worlds Unite. Alright, let's see. Alright, the seventh question he asked was, not seventh. Oh, hold on, what was it? Oh, what? Oh, he must have did a typo here. Because he puts 2 5s and 2 6. I think he meant 5B and 6A or something like that. But anyway, another one of the first 6 or 7 questions he asked is, he's asked is, somebody asked him, somebody asked Ian, one of the other questions they asked him was, are there any plot ideas and such from the old continuity that you would maybe be able to rework for the new one? Ian's answer to that question was, not really, no. Anything I'd want to port over would have to be so heavenly reworked to fit into the new mold. I might as well create something new. You'll see what I had planned in Lost Hitchhik Tales, which is coming eventually, he promises. And I know some people still speculate on whether or not perhaps he can't really do much, because not just of what he's doing, work and personal wise and everything, but maybe there might be some legal issues tied up to it as well. Okay. Somebody asked if he could put a solid explanation for the state of Blaze's world in Pirate Plunder Panic. He points out that Blaze's world was in the process of being chewed on by the Super Genesis wave, about the only interdimensional thing not utterly wiped out. Time and space got fuzzy, resulting in things like the Egg of War. And also, you could probably say it was a Sega mandate that her world don't get turned inside out, if you know what I mean. Kind of know what I mean. Basically, her world doesn't get turned inside out because of what happened with the Genesis wave. It's just my dog's toy. Trying to get her in. She likes to go to the side of the house. I don't know why. I don't know why she likes to go to the side of the house. Hold on a sec. Yeah, hold on, folks. I apologize for this. But yeah, what he was saying about the. Hold on. Yeah, but what he was saying about Blaze's world there when he was answering that question was. Basically, he was saying that Blaze's world was on the verge of being destroyed, but it wasn't. But there were some things that got a little fuzzy, like time and space, resulting in, like he said, the Egg of War being there. Another question somebody asked was, the worlds collide reality. Is it the same timeline that Genesis took place in? If not, was Sonic familiar with the State-M cast in that reality? And here's what he answers with that question. And again, I'll provide a link for some of these, for all of these down below. He answers, no, but Genesis did happen in a similar way, as in it was caused by the first Genesis wave. It's just the circumstances were different. One of these days I'll get to present the new timeline, one of these days. In other words, what he's saying is he's gonna go out maybe either online or maybe through a book or something like that. Like, let's say the Super Special magazine, and he'll probably present the timeline like that of how things changed and were, ended up happening in this one. He mentions another question that there will not be a Sonic Universe guest. Basically, there will not be a Sonic Universe like comic book to Mega Man. There won't be a counterpart comic book to Mega Man or anything like that. Not until the sales really improve on Mega Man and kind of show that it's worthy enough of having a secondary book. Now, like I said, he does 90 questions. The 12th question that he's asked is how far ahead did he and everyone at Archie plan on including Sonic Boom and Mega Man X to Worlds Unite? And he answers, from the beginning, because they didn't know if they'd be approved and they needed time to rework the pitch if they couldn't use Boom. He says Sega had a few rules about what we can and can't do for the crossover, but we were clear to include the franchise. So basically, he had to wait. He wasn't sure yet. Basically, it tells you there was two versions of Worlds Unite. One with Boom, one without Boom, and one with X and one without X. Let's see. Another question somebody asked him was, how much of the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cast, does he plan on using and importing into Archie and into the comics? Basically, they want to know who else besides like Breezy and Scratch and Grounder and all that. His answer to that question is not very much. There's a handful I'm introducing or plan on introducing, retooled so they actually fit within the modern Sonic universe. But not so many of them were one-offs, or so far off the mark in terms of the franchise. I think the time and energy needed to convert them would be better spent creating new material. Now, like I said, I'll provide the link down below. For anybody that's watching on a PC or a Kindle or whatever. The other question, this is the 20th question somebody asked, was, will there be any new major female villains, whether tied to Eggman's forces or not? His answer to that is, we'll definitely be seeing more female egg bosses. And I'm sure we'll get some standalone female villains down the line. The new universe is very, very young. So in other words, what he's saying is so what he's saying there, and he repeats that same answer of the universe being very, very young. What he's saying is that, yeah, you'll get new female villains, maybe female egg bosses, and you might get some independent ones as well, but it's going to be in time, not just right off the bat or when you expect it, but in time. Let me see, trying to find something else here for you. Okay, Alright, the 30th question, this is a 30A question, it's a two questions from the same person. The first question they ask Ian is, did the supergenesis wave actually destroy Sonic's multiverse? His answer, yes, it did destroy the multiverse. So in other words, all those different alternate versions of Sonic's world, they're gone. And the other question they asked, which is 30B, then how come Blaze's world was seemingly unaffected? His answer to that was, it was affected. It was, quote-unquote, waved too. It wasn't wiped out because of the power of the jeweled scepter. Okay, another question he asks is, how old is Relic? She seems to be referred to as Madam by Felix, but she looks to be younger than Knuckles. Now, Relic is that new female character associated with Knuckles on the floating island. Knuckles, Ian's answer, which would surprise a lot of people, is she's a little bit older than Knuckles. Don't let Felix fool you. Any woman is Madam, and any guy is Sir. He's very polite that way. But yeah, believe it or not, even though she looks younger, Relic is older than Knuckles. A little bit. Now, if you're a fan of the Chaotix, here's a question he answered that you might like. Question was, the 35th one, what kind of history do Mighty and Knuckles and the Chaotix share now? Ian's answer is, that's something we'll delve into much later on. Suffice to say, Knuckles' Chaotix did happen, and that's where they all met. Spoiler, he's pending approval and actual seeing print. In other words, pending the approval of Sega, and I think Archie and all that, he plans to write how the Chaotix, Knuckles, and Mighty met. Another question somebody asked is, hold on. Another question somebody asked is, I'm just wondering why you want to use Breezy. His answer is, she was one of the few reoccurring characters and had arguably the most character growth out of all of a done-in-one slapstick comedy show. I wanted a mid-tier villainous force for the comic, someone with some shades of gray, and I thought she served that purpose pretty well. In other words, he wanted someone that was kind of villainous and kind of had a little bit of a dark side, but could also be, do the right thing and have a good heart. Okay, let's see. Now, they want to know, will they see any more female villains in Mega Man besides Splash Woman and that Emerald Spears lady? And he says, yes, / maybe. We've got to see what Capcom approves. I'll definitely have one villainess coming up and at least two new female robot masters. One of which would be villainous. Like I said, one of which would be villainous.